physical altercations.
Who wins in a fight, Dave or James? James
murked James.
James murked.
Yeah! I feel like James could beat up half of the music industry.
Hey, blast off, I can talk my ass off. Hey, smoke you what you seen and I'll tell you what I saw. Hollywood, what you think and I'll tell you what I thought. And we can talk about it all when we hear on Trash Talk. Hey.
What's going on, everybody? And we are back with the, can we say the first?
The first of the new iteration.
The first of the new iteration Trash Talkers podcast. And y'all, this being episode 1, let's just start over.
We made it.
Small dog, we made it. Yeah, guys, today we've been asking if we should start a podcast. You know, we'll do this every Tuesday morning, and we'll sit back and this being the first one, you know, me and Smokey had to pick the topic.
Yeah.
But next week, you guys leave in the comments. You guys let us know what you want us to talk about. Can be UFOs, can be ghosts, can be conspiracy theories, can be conspiracies in music. There's so many things that we can talk about. But today's episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, we did pick the topic.
Yes.
But we got a few suggestions from the people.
Yes, absolutely. The Trash Talkers did help us out.
Yes.
Because, again, guys, we're new to the metal scene. And I think this episode is going to be interesting. But just to let you guys know how we do this. So, at the beginning, you know, we got 3 beefs in metal history. You could call it metal madness. And again, this is our topic. Next week's would be what you guys choose. And then we have something that we have called OMG and
WTF.
And what that is we live in Georgia.
Yep.
Oh my Georgia.
And what the Florida.
Yes, because some of the craziest stories come from Georgia and some of the craziest stories come from...
Yes, it was a segment we used to do on our old podcast all the time, and it was very fun. So we figured that would be a good segment to add to this podcast. And if you guys have any suggestions, you know, throw them at us.
Yes.
But we got suggestions on these beefs because beef is a big part of hip hop. You know, like, can you name a rapper that never had a beef?
No, I can't.
Exactly.
I can't.
Exactly. It just comes with the territory. So we wanted to explore what is the beefs in metal, because it seems like maybe it's a musical thing rather than just a hip hop thing. Artists tend to go at it and butt heads all the time. So we got some suggestions from you guys on what beefs to look into. So we're going to pull up these, maybe a synopsis for each beef and read it and then discuss.
Well, real quick, you said, you know, maybe it's because of there being a musical thing. Like I said in a previous reaction, I can't remember what reaction it was, but I'd said, you know, hip hop is a competitor sport.
Yes,
you
competitive
want to bang on your chest. You want to, my verse is better than yours. And if you lay a better verse than me, then I'm going to go back and probably rewrite my verse to make it better.
Yeah.
So I think, and again, we don't know. This is what's so interesting about this Smoke Dog is because we don't know why these beefs happen.
Exactly.
You know, like, okay, today we're going to be going over Dave Mustaine versus Metallica. Apparently, to the Trash Talkers, they had something going on. We also are going to go over Mushroomhead versus
Slipknot. And this one I had never even heard of.
No clue. Also,
I didn't know they had a beef.
We got Nirvana and Guns N' Roses.
Yes, and I have heard of that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to that one because I've heard some things. So real quick, before we start with Dave Mustaine versus Metallica, if you just had to guess, what do you think the beef was about?
Well, obviously Dave Mustaine was in Metallica.
Right.
So when they split up, it was obviously a tough transition for one side or both. So somebody had some hard feelings there.
Okay, I mean, Dave Mustaine was the guitarist, right?
Yes. For Metallica and originally.
I see, Trash Talkers, maybe y'all can leave in the comments and let us know, but I wonder, was he with the first 2 albums? Was he with the first 3 albums?
I don't know how many albums. I know that was one of the questions that you brought up on one of the Rappers React, that who was the original guitarist for Metallica, and it was obviously Dave Mustaine. Yes.
Okay, so just off of a quick Google, I Googled why did Dave Mustaine and Metallica have some issue. So it says on April 11th, 1983, after Metallica had driven to New York to record their debut album, Mustaine was officially ejected from the band.
Oh, wow. So first album.
Bro, first album. And he was ejected because of his alcoholism, drug abuse, overly aggressive behavior, and personal clashes with the founding members, Hetfield and Ulrich. I mean...
So he was just wilding out.
Yeah.
This is like an Ozzy situation, kind of.
What do you mean?
Because Ozzy was so wild that eventually Black Sabbath's like, bro, we can't use you anymore.
Kick you out.
Yeah.
And but let's think about this.
Yeah.
Their first album.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? Early 80s, you think?
83 is what he said.
Oh, again, that's how bad number is. Okay, 83. Everyone did cocaine in the 80s.
Well.
Everyone.
Virtually.
Everyone did in the 80s. I promise you. Honestly, I'll say this. I'm going to say 70% of people, of 70% of people
in the music industry.
Okay. Did.
Wow, that's a high number, but I can't dispute
80s.
It right offhand.
I mean, think about it, dude. Okay, well, first of all, we're talking about Metallica. First album, they're not really big, but then they're not, not unknown.
Yeah.
And Dave Mustaine being a phenomenal guitarist, it's like, is James and Lars, are y'all that much of straight edge stiflers to, hey man, I can't have a drink? I can't.
Well, I doubt they were straight edge and just all uptight.
Right.
But it sounds like Dave Mustaine was just wilding out, like I said. Is there any more information in there about
let's see. I mean, because if they were to be
I think they probably felt like he wasn't as focused on success. He just wants to start arguments. He just wants to do, all the drugs and alcohol, and he's just a little too confrontational to get to our success that we're trying to get to.
Right.
So it happens. Remember we had artists like that, that would come along that are like, bro, you just don't fit in. Like, you're not trying to fit in.
Yes.
You're trying to be you outside. You're trying to be your own personality, whereas we're trying to make it as a group.
Yes, and he's being completely honest, and not to say that me and Smokey were straight edge, but we put music first.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I think that's what Metallica was doing. Is they were, hey, we're serious. We're trying to be one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Our name is Metallica. We're trying to be one of the biggest metal bands ever. So if you're not willing to contribute and show up on time,
show up on time. Don't start arguments in the middle of the studio. Actually play your parts. Don't show up too messed up to where you can't even play your parts.
Right. And hey, Lars, we know you mess up every now and then, but you show up. You show up. You ain't doing drugs. This dude, he's great on the guitars, but we didn't record a whole song. We waiting on our guitar riff for 4 days. Where you been? Where you been? But real quick, I did see this right here. He said, people were saying, how do you get kicked out of a band for being a wild drunk when that very same band would give itself the name the Alcoholica? Have you ever heard of that? Metallica?
No, I've never heard of that.
Called Alcohol. So
I mean, it makes sense with the name Metallica if they drink a lot.
Yeah. So for Metallica's original lead guitarist Dave Mustaine, the problem wasn't the quantity that he was consuming. It was the booze affected him when he was hammered. Wow.
He was an angry drunk, obviously.
Yes. So his bandmates, James, Lars, and Cliff, they were loud and stupid when they were drunk, but they weren't mischievous, but not malicious. Mustaine, on the other hand, could become volatile and unhinged after he just had a few drinks. So,
wow.
Think about this. Being Alcoholica, hey man, it's okay to have a drink. This is the 80s. Remember, 70% of us all participate with the white. Everyone doing it, but
you can't say they definitely do it because that's
alleged.
It's possible, maybe
allegedly.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is okay. I just had 2 beers. Smoke just had 2 beers. Here comes old Dave. He's had 1 beer, and he's broken 4 guitars.
And he wants to fight everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, he just can't handle his liquor. Yeah, so I mean, people butt heads. So, did this ever get resolved? Is the question.
You know what? Let me go and there's gonna be some googling here. So that is a good question. Are they friends now? So so ultimately, it is really nice to know that old friends James Hetfield and Dave Mustaine from the 2 of the biggest bands are all now on good terms and still friends. After all that they have been through, that we can't even have the time to mention all, considering their huge passed, though they were in contact and still are to this day. Interesting.
And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there at one point in time in a concert where the Big Four actually performed all together?
That's what I'm thinking, because with Dave Mustaine being with Megadeth, it's like, hey, I was kicked out of Metallica, I will start Megadeth.
Yeah.
You know? And if they did if they did a Big Four concert, and imagine if Metallica went on who would go first?
Oh, well, Metallica's definitely the biggest.
So they're gonna.
There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I think it would be. Oh man, and it may have actually happened, because I remember hearing something about it from the Trash Talkers and comments and such, that they actually all performed on stage at one time. The Big Four did.
Right.
Together.
Huh. I wonder what that was like backstage.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I wonder if there was any still any hard feelings left. Yeah.
And you know what? Like they said, it wasn't the quantity that he was consuming. It was just you turn, instead of you being Dave Mustaine when you're drinking, you're Rave Mustaine or Rage Mustaine.
Did it ever come to blows? You guys can leave us a comment and let us know. Did they ever get any physical altercations?
Who wins in a fight, Dave or James? James
murked James.
James murked.
Yeah! I feel like James could beat up half of the music industry.
I'm telling you, yeah!
He's just, yeah!
Oh, man, let's move on to the next Beef Smoke. Dog, we got Mushroomhead versus Slipknot.
Yeah, this is one I have no clue about. Didn't know this ever happened.
Okay, so I Googled. And Trash Talkers, y'all can please educate us on these beefs and what you guys think about them. And if we're missing anything, because this is what me and Smokey's original first love. You know, Rappers React that is the pinnacle for us. We love sitting down, enjoying new music. Yes. But this is what the Trash Talkers were started on. Sitting here talking and discovering all this new music. Let's talk about some music. Yeah. And we can talk about other stuff too. But here's what I Googled. Why did Mushroomhead and Slipknot have a beef?
Yes.
It says tensions between the two fan bases famously boiled over in 1999 during a Slipknot show in Mushroom's home city of Cleveland, Ohio. During and after Slipknot's performance, members of the Mass 9 brawled with the audience after being pelted with batteries, padlocks, and other objects.
Oh, so this one definitely boiled over. In 99, that's when they were both getting started.
That was
that's Red Jumpsuit album. Yeah.
Huh.
So this was very early on. I mean, you got to think about it. Mushroomhead and Slipknot kind of have similar gimmicks, especially in the beginning there.
Yes.
You know, and they're both doing that new metal style. So I could see where you know, fans would start arguing over who's better.
Right.
Obviously.
I mean, look at it from the Slipknot came first, right? 99. I think so.
Not sure though.
Again,
someone actually might have said that Mushroomhead was around before Slipknot.
Oh wow.
We'd have to. You guys correct us.
Yeah,
Yes.
let us know on that. But what I will say is, look at it like this. Let's say Mushroomhead was before Slipknot, right? And Mushroom said like, "Hey, we wear the face paint. We got a buzz going on." And Slipknot comes out and they're like, "Okay, what's 9 of us? We're wearing masks, and our maggots have surpassed you guys. The mushrooms have surpassed them. So it's like, man, you stole our gimmick, you stole our style, you stole our fans."
That's probably how it started.
I would be willing to bet.
I mean, that's how it starts in hip hop a lot. You know, you think about 3-6 and Bone
Thugs.
You know, they're like, "No, you stole our style." No, we were already doing that. That's our style.
Yes.
You stole our style, and that's how the beef starts.
I mean, if you had to guess, so and I'll Google, you know, our Slipknot and Mushroomhead, cool. Now in Trash Talkers, y'all let us know if have they ever performed recently. I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, did they make up? And
yeah. But the thing is they were at a show, Smokey. They were at a show. You had mushroom heads, and you had maggots.
Oh man, I bet they were separated too.
Bro, you ever seen those?
They were probably like a gang, just lined up on either side, staring at each other.
Dude, you ever seen those mosh pits where it's like a complete opening and
everybody like a hallway down the middle and everybody meets in the middle?
I guarantee you that's how it happened.
Dude, like they're just standing there, tension, you know, and then all of a sudden a bottle comes up, boom, and then it's all
bow, padlocks, batteries.
Oh man, I would like to see a video of that
Yes,
show.
Trash Talkers, if that exists, please.
Yes.
Please. It's wild because Slipknot having the massive success that they accomplished and achieved and are still achieving to this day.
Yeah.
You can't really say that about Mushroomhead.
I mean, they're big. They're definitely big. They're in the industry and they have made a impression by themselves. That's for sure. They have a lot of followers, and I'm sure fans still argue in message boards or whatever over who's better.
Who's better, right?
But yeah, Slipknot's one of the biggest bands ever in metal.
In history, one could argue. But my thing is with Mushroomhead, I feel like they're like, dude, okay, we battled, the mushrooms battled the maggots. Ultimately, the maggots, they're gonna consume you. They're gonna, and Slipknot's
probably more fans.
100%.
Yes.
So now let's Google that.
But being in Mushroomhead's hometown,
that's where.
Yeah,
Speak
they
on that.
probably had more people there on their side.
Okay, Cleveland, Ohio, right?
Yeah.
How far is Iowa from Ohio?
Good long ways.
Okay.
That's quite a few states.
Speak on that though, dude. Man, God, Trash Talkers, we need y'all's. I can't wait to read the comments on this one, bro.
I want to bring up a map of. I mean, I'm sure they both had fans nationwide by that time. But I want to bring up the U.S. map and see how far they had to travel.
Yeah, because it would be crazy. And y'all, seriously, I can't wait to read these comments because I know you guys are going to be so informative on it. So I thought
Wait,
Iowa
that's
and
not right.
I thought Iowa and Cleveland or Ohio were like right next to each other.
There
Right?
is 2 states in between.
Okay, too. Illinois and Indiana.
I was thinking it was more than 2, but yeah.
Okay, so that's probably about a 12-hour, 13-hour
Yeah, so
drive.
I mean, I would imagine even they had some fans drive over there from Iowa.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, man. Imagine Mudvayne at this concert. What if they were like, dude, this is our home city.
Yeah.
The whole city comes out, and the crowd loves it.
Yeah.
And the crowd loves what we're doing, but imagine if this other band that looks similar, sounds similar, and the
Yeah.
crowd goes 30 times more. That's going to piss you off.
Oh yeah, we had that happen one time at a show.
What?
It's where Young and Mob, they were from McDonough, and they came up here and we put them on as opening act at the depot.
At the depot. Was I there?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
Yes,
think I was
you
there.
were definitely there.
I think. Oh, the brawl.
The brawl.
Yes,
in the parking
I
lot.
do remember that. Yes.
It was like our fans fighting with their fans, and them. As a matter of fact, it was the group.
It was the group, man.
Our fans were fighting the group.
Man, we had some great times, dude.
Oh yeah.
But that you can understand that though. If you like, and then another question with this show, Trash Talkers, let us know: did Slipknot headline that show? Because come on, bro, y'all look just like us, y'all sound like us, and y'all gonna do that to us in our own city. Y'all gonna headline at our own city. Like I can see where the egos come into where it's
And of course, well, being early on in their careers, there's no definite that they were headlining though.
What do you mean?
That Slipknot were the headliners.
Oh, being so early. So that's so then maybe Mushroom.
But it was a Slipknot show, right? Or was Mushroomhead performing that night? Did the Mushroomhead fans show up at a Slipknot show and start the beef?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Huh. Hold on. I want to Google. Is Mushroomhead and Slipknot cool now?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. What?
Dude, I don't know. It just shows you that really the rest of the music industry is not that far off from hip hop.
No, it's not. Again,
I mean, of course, you hear about rappers dying all the time. Like it's always young rappers that end up dying because of beefs.
Rest in peace, man. Or drugs.
Well,
Again, but that's
definitely.
you know what? You don't really hear that in metal. You hear, overdoses happening in metal.
Oh yeah.
But you don't hear like
like
someone
somebody
got
from
shot.
Slipknot shot somebody from
Or somebody from Iowa shot somebody from Slipknot, and we hope that never happens. But I can't find anywhere if they're friends now. The only thing. Oh, here's a question. What was the first metal band to wear a mask? I'm just curious. The Residents.
to wear a mask.
Interesting.
Who was it?
The Residents.
I don't even know of them.
So I googled this, and this doesn't really answer our question, but it says the feud between Slipknot and Mushroomhead was highly publicized in the early 2000s, resulting in a bizarre battle of both mass bands. In a new interview, Mushroomhead drummer Steve "Skinny" Felton spoke about the beef, reflecting on the absurdity of of a feud that never needed to happen. So I would say they're friends now.
Yeah, so they were both trying to be the bigger man about it. In the end.
I mean, you got one band over there that's being all QWERTY, and then you have another band over there saying people equals
yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather hang
I wouldn't doubt. I mean, I know we're going through Slipknot Saturday. I wouldn't doubt that there was a song wrote about this somewhere. Whether it was recorded or put on an album or what, when rappers have beef, we make songs about it. So dude, I wouldn't doubt that there's a song out there somewhere.
Dude, this is a great episode because Trash Talkers let us know that we're familiar with rap beefs. Me and this dude beefed for rap. Now look at what we're doing. But do in metal and grunge and rock, do they, if you like, do they make songs towards the opposite person? And I'm talking about bluntly, because in hip-hop, I'm saying your name, I'm saying where you from, I'm saying how bummy you look when you walk around. This was old Hollywood speaking. This old Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
But did these things occur in rock? That's
I'm sure it does, you know. Young men, they get full of fire and venom. You know?
Especially, and then you got to think, man, first of all, I just want to say the fact, or the thought of clown just coming at you. No, me.
Dude, that is scary. Do you see this giant 7-foot dude just beating his way through the crowd?
Okay, if you had to put money on who won that fight.
If it was the band versus the band?
Band versus band.
Oh, Slipknot.
Slipknot win.
Yeah,
look at
I mean, they got the numbers.
Dude, Mickey's just, he looks like a cereal.
he's like in 300 when they brought out the giant. They bring him out on a leash, like, get him. And he's like, okay.
I got you. Oh, man. Yeah, Trash Talkers, please give us some questions on this. All right, slow down to the next one.
Yeah.
Nirvana versus Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I know a little bit about this one.
Okay, what do you know?
So apparently Nirvana was on the rise in 91, right? And they were becoming, you know, one of the biggest bands on earth at that time. You know, that was when they blew up in 91. That was around the time that Nevermind came out. Guns N' Roses had been big in the music industry for quite some time, since the mid 80s, you know, with Appetite for Destruction was like 86.
Right.
So they were still at the height of their popularity, really, in the early 90s.
Talking Guns N' Roses?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, but they were representing the old style. You know, that old style of metal, and grunge was this new thing that was taking over. And Axl Rose has never been one to hold his tongue. Like, he will go off on anybody at any time. There's videos of him jumping in the crowd and fighting people, and
I love that.
He was just a kicker, you know. He was just like, I will start with anyone at any time, and he was wild, young, and rebellious, and that's just how he was. And so apparently, Nirvana sees them while they're backstage, you know, at the music awards or whatever it was. They see him backstage, and Kurt's having a baby, him and Courtney Love.
Wow.
Yeah, so he yells out to Axl Rose. He was like, oh, there's Axl Rose. Hey, Axl, will you be the godfather of my kid?
Wait, Kurt said that?
Yes.
Okay.
So Axl took it as being facetious. Like, oh, okay, so I'm the old man. I need to be the godfather of your child. And so he blows up and starts yelling at him or whatever, and it turns into this altercation. And I saw a clip of somewhere where Kurt started going off on Axl Rose at a concert or whatever, and he's just yelling out, "Hey Axl, hey Axl."
What?
Yeah, what do you want to do now?
Yeah, but Kurt wanted him to be his...
Yeah, he did, but I think Axl took it as him being facetious.
Right.
Like, oh, you're just making fun of me now.
Right.
Like, oh, you're the new hotness. We're the old guys. You're going to make fun of me. But Axl's not one of those dudes to just take that, you know? What does it say about it?
Yeah, see, I feel like you just summed it up in a nutshell there, man. So it says Axl Rose and Kurt Cobain were once alike in many ways. Two messed up small town guys whose lives were changed forever by aggressive, rebellious rock music. But though Nirvana and Guns N' Roses both found fame by blurring the lines between punk and metal, Rose and Cobain found themselves on the opposite side of the rock culture wars of the alternative era. But that was long ago. Immediately after Guns N' Roses' Las Vegas show on Saturday, Axl Rose fired off a tweet of gratitude crammed full of emoji and exclamation points at former Nirvana. Wait, Dave Grohl? We're talking about tweets? Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, at Dave Grohl. Okay.
Yeah.
Who lent the injured Guns N' Roses singer the throne he'd used on the most for Foo Fighters tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, in 1991, Kurt Cobain badmouths Guns N' Roses. Axl Rose, okay, I'm not going to read all these, but in 91 to 92, Kurt Cobain badmouths Guns N' Roses. That's pretty much what you were talking about.
Yeah.
In 1992, Kurt refuses to wear Guns N' Roses shirt. In 1992, Axl calls Kurt and Courtney effing junkies. Oh my God! You talk about my wife and the mother of my child. We got a problem. September 1992, Showdown at the VMAs. So
that was the one I was talking about.
Okay.
So apparently it was brewing before then.
Oh, wow.
Before Kurt said that.
Yes. So he said Courtney taunted Rose, asking him to be Francis's godfather, and actually exploded at Kurt. You shut your bitch up, or I'm taking you down to the pavement. Wow.
I told you, man. Axl wasn't playing. He didn't take nothing off anybody. Like, he just went for it all out, all the time.
So, and then 92, Kurt blasts Axl in The Advocate. Basically, in a high-profile interview with LGBT publication The Advocate, Kurt recounted the backstage encounter with Axl and again insulted Guns N' Roses as musicians and as people. He also called Axl a effing sexist and a racist and a homophobe.
Wow.
And you can't be on his side and be on our side. I'm sorry that I have to divide this up like this, but it's something you can't ignore. And besides, they can't write good music.
Oh,
dude.
Wow. Now that's probably the biggest shot of all
Kurt
right there.
went at Axl on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I could keep going, dude. Kurt Cobain and Duff McKagan speak peacefully on a plane. 1994, Matt Storm calls Dave Grohl with condolences after... Okay, so this is when things started to simmer down slightly.
Yeah.
February 2010, Duff McKagan apologizes for threatening Crit Novoselic at the VMAs. So let's see what the latest one is. Maybe there's some...
Novoselic, by the way.
Novoselic, yes. So in April 2016, Axl borrows Grohl's thrones. So I guess they became cool to Axl.
So they eventually got over it.
Yeah.
And that's what we see in hip-hop, too. You know, you see... Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, eventually they're doing shows together and things like that, and you know, Dr. Dre is like, oh, I still miss Eazy-E, you know, I wish we'd never beat or whatever.
And it was sad.
People grow up and eventually they're like, yes, that was stupid because we were young and just rebellious.
Young and dumb.
Yep.
And when you mix fame and money and women and drugs, it just it escalates.
Yep.
You know, it's being famous, being popular, it has its up and downs. You know what I mean? Just know that it may look glamorous sometimes, you know, and you may see, man, these people get to fly all over the world, they get to get whatever they want, but you're just seeing what's being shown to you. These people might be going through some of the most personal things in behind there.
Oh yeah.
But you don't see that. You see the glamour, the glitz, and I mean,
and what they see is that every time I go into public, people are yelling at me, and everybody wants something. I just want to make music and make people happy, and they all want something else.
From me.
You know, everybody feels like I owe them something for some reason.
Yes,
you know,
man,
that is a question.
What's up?
As far as the fans, like, you make music for the fans, and you're like, okay, I'm doing a good for the world. You know, I'm making people happy. Yeah. And the fans sometimes start feeling like, well, you owe me. I bought all your records. You owe me this signing, autograph
because
signing.
I bought all your records, all your merch.
So where's the line there? What do you owe the fans? And what are some of the artists just being...
a-holes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
there's got to be a line there. I mean, it can't all be gray, right?
Yeah, I mean, but then
at what point does the fans or at what point are the fans wrong, and what point is the artist wrong?
There's a thin line, and you have to look at it like this. A lot of people fantasize over some of these famous people.
Absolutely.
Listen, I mean, there's some scary situations. I want to say the Manson situation weren't over the. Remember they.
That went really deep there.
Yeah, well, that went. Wasn't Manson like fascinated with Sharon? What's her name? Sharon Tate? Or
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, but he had. I mean, well, the guy was psychotic. That was obvious. And he had the God complex. He thought he was a prophet, and that went really deep. I mean, it was way beyond music. Yes, he was a musician, and he used his gift of gab to influence people to do what he wanted to. He was basically a maniac, a megalomaniac.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you see some of these famous people, some people fantasize over it. I watch you every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at there was a guy that did it to Bjork. Stalked Bjork. It's a thing, man. And these things that people are going through in their personal lives, it may, to the fan, it looks at them like, hey, you're just making good music. You just get on stage and dance. But I have a personal life too. You know what I mean? They have to understand that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, guys, please give us any information on Dave Mustaine versus Metallica, Mushroomhead versus Slipknot, Nirvana, and Guns N' Roses. But Smoke Dog.
Yeah.
It's time for some good old OMG and WTF.
Yes.
Now look, OMG again. Oh my God! But we calling it Oh My Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia. We say Georgia. But
Georgia.
Smokey, let me tell you my OMG of the day. Okay.
All right.
Georgia man throws away, recovers lottery tickets worth $10,000. Okay. Rome, Georgia. A North Georgia man has recovered $10,000 worth of lottery tickets he had thrown away in the trash. Multiple media outlets report that Cedric, I won't say his last name, on Friday thought that he had narrowly missed winning a $5,000 jackpot on 2 lottery tickets.
Wow.
He said he asked a convenience store employee to throw away the tickets away on Saturday, but later that day he realized his tickets had in fact been winners. Ooh. Jackson returned to the store after going through the store's trash can and dumpster in vain. He left the store empty-handed. It wasn't until later in the day that the employee, Ricky, remembered he had thrown the tickets into the trash can inside an inner office. Ricky called the guy and told him, "We found your tickets." First of all,
wow.
Shout out Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Exactly. I thought you were going to say that Ricky took the money.
That dude would be such a douche if you didn't break Ricky off something. If you didn't give Ricky something, you gotta break Ricky off something.
Yes, but, absolutely.
That's some things where you just like, oh my Georgia, like, dude. First of all, you thought you had a lottery ticket and you thought you might have won $5,000. Turns out you won 10. My question is, how did he know he won it?
Oh, he probably had his numbers memorized.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking maybe a scratch off.
It's probably one of those things. You remember, how you get the form, like the Scantron form for the if you that kind of lottery, not the scratch off tickets, but and you have those, you keep those. They run them through and then you take them back so you can play them the next day. So he's probably looking through like, oh man, I did hit one.
Right. Yeah. And he's dumpster dived. That fool got him said, whoa, dumpster dived in it.
Wow.
But shout out to Ricky for bringing it back to him, man, because that shows that you still have some good people.
Oh, a lot of times, like these stories, I mean, that's why we started doing them originally, is because they would be funny and ridiculous. Yeah. And every now and then we would run across an inspirational story.
I would say this is one.
That's what we have here.
Now listen, I'm going to say this was an OMG. This was on my Georgia. Guarantee you WTF is going to be something crazy. Guarantee it. Right. If y'all don't know what Florida Man is, Google it.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody at this point knows what the Florida Man is. But Florida Man wearing, in quote, "No, seriously, I have drugs" t-shirt. Now, hopefully you can put the picture up on the screen. So this guy, he had on a shirt that said, "No, seriously, I have drugs." Like, for one, where do you get that shirt from?
Yes. And where can I get one?
Okay. Oddly, it wasn't the t-shirt that led John, I'm going to leave out his last name, led to John's arrest at Kmart in Hudson, Florida, but it probably didn't help.
Right.
When a Pasco County Sheriff's deputy walked into the store on Monday, he saw John try unsuccessfully to pass a bag of green leafy substance to the shopper in line behind him. So he's standing in line when the cops come in. He's like, uh-oh, I got this shirt on. Hold this, bro.
What?
Yeah, allegedly leaving a bag on the ground. I guess the guy behind him
He didn't take it.
Yeah. When a clerk alerted the deputies, they found marijuana and methamphetamine in the bag.
Wow.
And there's his arrest photo.
Wait a minute. Okay. So this guy in Florida, Pasco County,
yes,
was wearing a shirt that says, "No, seriously, trust me, I have drugs." Okay. Freedom. What?
I mean, I guess you're taking it at face value because he's like, no, seriously, I have drugs. It's not just the shirt. I seriously have drugs.
Oh, you know what, though? If you really want to think about it, that could be a brilliant way to market if you were a dope dealer.
Exactly.
Like, that would be brilliant. Like, if you don't want to say
get caught,
nothing.
though. I mean,
yeah, it's obvious.
If you out in public with a shirt that says, no, seriously, I have drugs. You see a cop, what are they going to do? Like, do you expect them to see that shirt and go, oh, he probably doesn't have drugs?
Dude, your shirt tells it. And then you get caught with the drugs. Dude,
Yeah.
I don't know how I knew it, but I knew meth was going to be involved.
Yeah, that was a recurring theme of the WTF stories that we used to cover.
What the WTF, what the Florida, literally, for some reason, and shout out to all our Floridians out there, because me and Smoke Dog went to Florida and had a great time.
Oh, yeah, Florida's a great place. There's a lot of great people there.
Yes.
It just so happens that things that make the news out of Florida tend to be pretty wild and ridiculous.
Dude, there's one where, man, they're on our previous podcast. I remember you bringing up one like where this dude wrestled an alligator because the alligator stole his keys or something.
Yeah, but there was one lady, I think it was a lady, that got arrested and she had like 17 alligators
in her car?
in her pants.
Oh, in her pants? Oh my God.
Like that. Like she had these baby alligators and she shoved them in her pants and tried to steal them or whatever she was doing. I'd had to pull up that story again, but yeah, she got caught with a ton of alligators in her pants.
Hey.
There was the dude who robbed the store and tried to drive away on a tricycle. The cops pull up and he's trying to pedal away.
Dude, what are you doing? You were just, that's, man, WTF.
Yeah, if you guys want to go back through the old podcast and check out some of those stories, those things are great.
Absolutely. And also that OMG and WTF, that's definitely going to be a reoccurring thing in this in the Trash Talkers podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my Georgia, what the Florida, man. This was a good episode, man.
Yeah, I think so.
This was a great episode. Trash Talkers, leave us down in the comments about any of these beefs and what you thought. Tell us some OMG or WTF stories about where you from, to where you guys are at. Like, is there some crazy things that happen in Iowa or Oklahoma or Alaska or Germany or Belgium or France?
And you know what? Tell us about the craziest beef in metal and rock history, and we will revisit this topic.
Yes, we'll revisit. And also let us know another topic to go on so we can mesh that in next week. And literally, guys, when we say anything, y'all know...
we'll talk about anything.
Dude, y'all know me and Smokey can sit here and talk about anything. And I think this first episode is a good introduction because, we wanted to show you guys, hey, we can talk about music, but we can go deep. Me and Smokey
absolutely.
go deep. And I'm telling you, some of the conversations we're gonna have on this Trash Talkers podcast is gonna be pretty interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, guys. Thank y'all so much checking out this episode of the Trash Talkers podcast. We'll see you next Tuesday. And with that being said, my name's Barry Hollywood 6. Bye.
I am Larry Smokey Ramirez Cowan.
And we are
over
and
out. Deuces.